one of the things that I loved about this book is that you end it, just for the epilogue, in fact, you end it with a letter to a future daughter that you may or may not have. Could you give us a bit of context about that and maybe read a little bit from that letter as well?
Yeah, I'd absolutely love to. So this was the bit I was saying earlier when Roe v. Wade was overturned and I was reading the news. I remember exactly where I was as well. Like, you know, when it's just, you know exactly where you were and what you were doing. And I was just, I felt furious, and I don't normally feel fury like that. And I started writing something, not to do with the book, just writing about that. And then I kind of thought, I think I want to write a letter to all of the young women and girls whose lives will be forever changed for the worse because of this. And that I guess was how it started. But then I just couldn't stop writing, and it became not about Roe v. Wade anymore, but rather just, I guess, a letter to the women who will come. But also, I think it is a bit a letter to past me, and it's a hopeful story that's founded in the reality of the fact that life will not be easy, but just I guess to tell the reader that there is someone out there who dreams of a better life for you. So that really is it, and I would love to read a bit of it. Maybe I'll go from, okay. My daughter, I hope you fly high for eternity. I promise you this. It is okay if you fall. Do not worry, even when your heart breaks and you think you may never be whole again, because you will. And you might cry, but that's okay, because crying is allowed for you, my daughter. I wish for you tears of joy when you get on an aeroplane for the first time alone, seeing worlds that so far were nothing more than a dream, and that when you see them, something in you clicks and connects. This is part of your becoming, a wise woman once said. And you bring this becoming home with you to a summer of sweaty, exhilarating parties and nightclubs using your older cousin's ID. And when your exam results come in, you might cry again, because you put every piece of your heart into them, or maybe you didn't. Doesn't matter. The world is yours now. And you are leaving home with nothing but a notepad and a backpack and a heart full of stars, to places where learning happens, the kind you find in books that open your mind, but also the kind you find in not enough sleep and friends that you meet by chance. And from the moment you look at each other, you know that this is a soulmate, best mate till death do us part kind of thing. You'll laugh till you cry, and cry when life comes around hard. And it might. It may hit you. And my daughter, it may hurt. But I wish for you that it will never hit you harder than you can withstand. And that one day you will look back on those moments, take a deep breath, breathe out the sorrow, breathe in the light of a you that feels right. Just putting some time in front of it helps a lot, my daughter. I wish for you love that holds you to account and holds you to the light and holds you when you're breaking, even if you don't know how to articulate it. I pray that you learn how to articulate it. I pray that you will never need to hold your voice or suppress yourself for fear of being too much. You could never be too much, my daughter. And I pray that in these magical, messy years of becoming, that you don't work too hard, that you remember to see the sunsets and sleep, and sometimes to say no. Sometimes it is good to say no. I wish for you good hair, good food, good conversations, the kind that make your mind feel like it is growing so large it might just implode because you never considered thinking in that way before. And I wish for you that you can walk into any workplace you choose with your head held high and your hair higher, because you exude professional, no matter what you look like. And everybody knows that they are lucky to have you. You have nothing to prove. You will never have anything to prove. I'll pause it there.
Thank you so much. There's so much in that that is brilliant, and I think really encapsulates what this book is about. As I say, it absolutely deals with some of the harsh realities of life for Black women, but it's still, it is hopeful, it's celebratory, even when it means celebrating what it means to not always be strong and not always to have to be strong. And to anybody who's maybe not familiar with that, there was a reference in there to what it means to have professional hair. If you're not familiar with that, I think it's definitely worth having a Google. There's a very interesting history behind that, which I think is definitely well worth exploring.